I'm Felicia. I go by Felicia Dia on Twitch, and I am a Rimworld streamer. So, the question I get the most in my chat is people asking which mods they should download if they are new to the game or new to using mods. So, I decided to just make a list of my 15 ish favorite mods for beginners in Rimworld. So, without further ado, let's just get started. So, first things first. Before you download any other mods, you do want to make sure that you download the two main mod libraries, which is what's going to be able to make all your mods work. And those two are Harmony and Hugslip. So those two are not mods in and of themselves, but they are libraries that make all the other mods function with one another. So just make sure you get those two done. And don't worry, there will be a mod pack down below with all of the ones that I recommend in this video, so it'll be really easy to be able to get that done. So those are not technically part of my recommendations. They're just a note that if you want your mods to run smoothly, you're going to need these two. My first mod that I recommend for absolute beginners is Don't Block Door. It is exactly what it sounds like, and it keeps your pawns from dropping items in the doorways of your buildings. So that sounds like something really small, but it makes a huge difference. For instance, if your pawn drops something in the doorway of your freezer, you're going to let all of that cold air out and all of your food's going to deteriorate. Or if you leave something in the doorway of your base, it's really easy for raiders or manhunting animals to come in, which sounds like it's not that big of a deal, but once your base gets really big and it's expanded and you have a lot of pawns, it's really easy to overlook something like this, so it's better to just not even have to worry about it. My second mod is Labels on Floor. Again, doesn't sound like much, but it makes a huge difference. Here's a great example of what your base will look like with the labels. A great example of when this mod comes in handy is if you are planting a lot and you want to make sure that you have your crops ready by winter, you want to make sure that you have rice planted and you're not going to have to wait forever for the corn or something like that, and then all of a sudden you are out of food waiting for the rest of your crops and you never planted any rice to begin with. So again, just really nice, really helpful. Another mod that is super beneficial is Lights Out. So Lights Out helps you conserve electricity in your game by making the lights turn off automatically when your pawn leaves the room, and also giving you the ability to put electronic workbenches on standby, which is really convenient if you are struggling at the early game with wind turbines or before you have batteries. Another one that you set it and forget it is no job authors. So there's going to be a time when you are going to have a pawn that is in charge of crafting or tailoring, and they're going to have something unfinished or machining, and that's something's going to happen to that pawn, and all of a sudden you have an unfinished bionic prosthetic, and you're going to have to scrap the whole thing altogether. This allows anyone to work on and finish an item in progress. So you don't have to worry about a job author being assigned to a work in progress and then not being able to complete it because something happens to that pawn or the pawn has to be used for something else. Super clutch. So this is a newer mod. It was actually released in October of 2022, so I'm glad I was able to make this new list for 2023. It is planning extended, so I've been using this pretty much to replace all my other planning mods religiously since I got it. Planning extended is awesome. So here's all of the things it can do. It is such a game changer for planning a base, especially if you are trying to do a challenge run and you really want to make sure that your base is going to be built in a way that you can complete your challenge. It is just so convenient. It puts together about like 5 or 6 planning mods all into one, and it is essential to gameplay because the vanilla planning tool just really doesn't cut it compared to this. This one is one of my favorite mods. It is a meme in my chat how much I love this mod, and it is wall lights. Wall lights save a ton of energy and they save a lot of space in your rooms early game. Again, when you're trying to hoard electricity, it is a game changer, and it is so fun because as you can see, you can change the color and just really helps with like being creative and conserving resources in early game and later game too. Love this mod. Love it. This mod is called While You Are Nearby. And instead of your pawns going all over the map with some wonky AI, it is going to do jobs that are closer to it instead of walking across the map to haul something or chop a tree. It's going to do this right here. And it saves a lot of time and effort for your pawns and for you. Along with while you're nearby, another one that's great is Pikmin Hall. So Pikmin Hall allows your pawns to pick up more than one item at a time. And it just really, really boosts the efficiency of your pawns and of your base. Must have. And so when I said 15-ish, what I meant was this this mod I consider needs to be accompanied by, so Pikmin Hall Plus is a must-have if you download Pikmin Hall. It is just an enhancement mod, and it just makes the mods a lot more beneficial, and it just doesn't make sense to download one without the other. So like I said, 15-ish, because I'm counting these as one. Okay, another one that is very light but makes a huge difference is Drag Select. So here we have Camera Plus. Camera Plus is a fun mod that allows you to have a lot stronger zoom in and zoom out on your map. So for instance, you can zoom out and see your entire map, or zoom in and see every facial feature on one of your pawns. This is especially fun when combined with something like facial animations or any other animation mods, but that'll probably be another video when I go into those. So yeah, Camera Plus is great, especially if you're a content creator. This is a must-have. This is one of my absolute favorite mods. I cannot play Rimworld without it, and it's Animal Tab. This mod is by Fluffy, who is one of my favorite modders. Shouts to you. I would definitely check out their workshop. They do a ton of great mods. So it's easiest if I just show you how this thing literally changes the game for me. Here we have Animal Tab in action. So as you can see, it really adds a lot of functionality to the vanilla Animals tab. For instance, now you have not only all of your animals, but you have their genders, their ages, where they are in their lives, in case you're wondering if they are close to adulthood or close to dying. If they are a trainable animal, this is where their master will go. And then you have the option of what you want to train right here. If you want them to be sterilized, there's the option here. And then this also shows the wool production, milk production, and how much meat you get from butchering. All at a glance. It is so convenient, especially if you're like me and you end up with like a million different animals during your playthroughs. I don't know how it happens. And I remember I was talking to someone and they had 300 and something chickens. This is gonna help keep them organized. Also, if you have an animal like a chicken that lays an egg, it will also show egg production. You also have the option to slaughter or release, and you can just check those. So for instance, if you have a boomalope or something and you don't want it to blow up your base, you can just release it back into the wild and you don't have to worry about it. Just so convenient when you end up with a ton of animals, especially if you're playing with ideology and you end up doing rancher or something like that. And now a perennial favorite, P music. P music, pretty much anyone who plays Rimworld will sing the praises of this mod. It adds 47 new songs to the game, and they are all bangers. The P music team is incredible. They have the playlist for these songs on YouTube, on Spotify, on everywhere, because the songs are so good. Here is an example of one of my favorites. And with that, we have another mod. Again, I'm not considering this a standalone mod. I'm considering it something that would accompany P Music. We have Music Manager. Music Manager is right up here, and it gives you the option to control what you're listening to. So it'll show you the song title, and you have the option to skip it, pause it, or just open up a list of every song available, and you can just play whatever you're in the mood to listen to. And it gives you a lot more control over the audio for the game. Again, just good if you're a little sick of certain songs or want to listen to others, or if you're a content creator like me and you want to show off your favorite P music song. Tab is something that I honestly cannot play Rimworld without. This is RimHUD, RimHUD. I'm not entirely sure how you pronounce it. It is a reworking of the general info card for your pawns, except it gives you every single thing you would need at a glance. So as you can see, the original vanilla info card gives you a quick little overview of everything. But with RimHUD, you get a huge amount of data and info right at your fingertips. Another cool thing about RimHUD is that you can pin the whichever info card you need anywhere on your screen. So if you need to track a pawn's health, maybe they have an infection, maybe something like that, you can just pin their info card up and keep an eye on something like that. Here's an example of what I mean. Makes life on the rim a lot easier to keep track of. Here is another mod that makes the game just so much nicer to play. This is the World Map Beautification project. It is a cosmetic mod. It doesn't change the actual biomes themselves. So if you are still new to the game and you're getting a feel for vanilla biomes, all this does is make them a little prettier, make them a little nicer to look at. And as you can see, it does add things like rainfall mattering within the biomes. And if it snows, you can see that change on the map itself, which is really cool. It is just a fun little addition that makes the game prettier. One of my other accompanying mods, the World Map Enhanced, makes it even nicer. So again, these are cosmetic mods. They won't change gameplay itself, but it's just a very enhanced version of the current map that vanilla has. So if you want the game to have a more realistic feel, I would 100% recommend these. And for my final mod on this list, I have a really just silly, fun one called Interaction Bubbles. Essentially, what Interaction Bubbles does is it just gives your pawns interactions that you would find on their log or social tab. It just kind of makes them little speech bubbles so you can actually see what they are talking about. It can be really hilarious, especially if one of your pawns is trying to romance another, or if one's on an insulting spree. You'll get to see what creative insults they're coming up with. And it just adds another definite, just little something to your gameplay where you feel more connected to your pawns, and it just gives something that I feel is lacking sometimes when you're just watching them all run around, kind of like ants on an ant farm. Those are my top 15 mods that I think you should use if you're a beginner and you wanted somewhere to start. I think that these mods just add such a better quality of life in terms of gameplay, and I know most of them I cannot play without no matter what kind of run I'm doing. So hopefully this helps you out, and if it does, can you just let me know down in the comments, or did I miss something that you think I need to know about? Feel free to let me know. And check me out on Twitch if you want to. I stream from 7 p.m. Eastern time until about midnight, 3 to 4 days a week. So yeah, give me a follow, come hang out, come say hi. All right, thanks so much. Have a good one. Enjoy Rimworld.